Before Adam and Eve ate from the tree of the knowledge of good and evil, they were sinless. They lived in a state of innocence because they had no comprehension of evil. According to Genesis 1:31, God saw everything that he had made, and it was very good. This includes Adam and Eve, who were free from the knowledge of sin at this time. The pivotal moment occurred in Genesis 3, when the serpent deceived Eve into eating the forbidden fruit. God confronted Adam about his actions, and Adam truthfully explained that he followed the suggestion of the woman who was given to him by God. Adam, without knowledge of evil, had no reason to question Eve's intentions. Similarly, when questioned by God, Eve truthfully stated that the serpent had deceived her into eating the fruit. Because Eve also lacked the knowledge of evil, she could not recognize the evil deception. The true act of sin was committed by the serpent. Upon learning about the deception, God cursed the serpent, declaring it would be cursed more than any other animal. Revelation 12:9 identifies the serpent as the devil, who deceives the entire world. Through this act of deception, knowledge of evil entered humanity. God still took care for Adam and even cursed the whole earth for Adam's sake. Although acquiring the knowledge of evil was not a sin itself, using this knowledge became sinful. The first human to misuse this knowledge was Cain, who committed the sin of murder by killing his brother Abel, as described in Genesis 4:8. Thus, the ripple effects of the serpent's deceit led humanity from innocence to the capacity for sin. God said he wanted to make a man after his own image. God acknowledged in Genesis 3:22 that man had become like him in knowing good and evil. This was the beginning of God's divine plan to make man in his own likeness. Man had to receive the knowledge of good and evil, and the final step is to become immortal by eating from the other tree, namely the tree of life. Then we are completely made after God's image. A side note for the critics: Paul, in the beginning of his conversion, mentioned in one of his first letters, Romans 5, that Adam had transgressed. In Paul's final and last letters, his view of Adam is amended, and he wrote, 1 Timothy 2:14, "And Adam was not deceived, but the woman being deceived fell into transgression." Another scripture is Isaiah 43:27, which says, "Thy first father hath sinned." Every nation has a first father. For Israel, this is referring to Jacob. We can read this in Genesis 49:2. "Gather yourselves together and hear, ye sons of Jacob, and hearken unto Israel your father." Final conclusion: Adam is never called a sinner. He had no knowledge of evil, so he couldn't sin. The rule is, you need knowledge of evil to be held accountable for transgressions, also called the age of accountability. For example, if you give a 3-year-old child a gun, then you will be held accountable as sinner, not the little child. God bless those who can read and understand.